Are you moving to Savannah? You should check out the newto912.com. That's newto912.com for all the details about a smooth move here to Savannah. If you're thinking about moving to Savannah, there's one thing I want you to know right away. Savannah is an incredible place to live, but it does not work the way that most people expect it to. And if you try to understand it, like it's any other city, you're going to get confused pretty quickly. I'm Alison Harris with the Harris Home Team, and we work with people relocating to Savannah and the surrounding coastal Georgia area every single day. What we see over and over again is that people fall in love with Savannah online or during a short visit, and then they just feel overwhelmed when they actually try to make the decision to move here. And that's why we made the New to 912 guide. Hop over to newto912.com to download your guide today. So practically speaking, Savannah is a little confusing. It doesn't follow the mental map that most people expect. For example, our downtown is actually the furthest north point in our city. A lot of people assume downtown is on the southern end, and it's just not in Savannah. We hear it over and over. And then another kind of weird quirk is if you're from the West Coast, get really used to the ocean being on the east instead of to the west. I'm originally a West Coaster, and I'll be honest, it is actually kind of embarrassing how many years it took me to stop getting turned around just because of the orientation of the ocean. And on top of that, Savannah moves at a very different pace. You'll hear people joke and call it slow-vanna. Calls don't get returned quite as quickly, projects may not move as fast as you're accustomed, and your server at the restaurant may not bring you your cocktails or your lunch or whatever quite as quickly as you're accustomed. For people relocating from bigger or faster cities, that adjustment can be real. So just to be clear, the Harris Home Team is not slow, but the pace of the city itself surprises a lot of people. So what does the 912 actually mean? So you may hear locals talk about the 912. Yes, it's our area code, and right now, that area code covers most of coastal and southeastern Georgia. As our area continues to grow, a new area code is actually being added. Experts say that they'll probably start using it in 2028, and they will start using it when the 912 numbers are gone. The new area code is going to be 565. So if you want a 912 number, you should probably get down here pretty quick. So for us, the New to 912 means helping people move into this region smoothly. We primarily serve Chatham, Bryan, and Effingham counties, but we also work in Liberty, Long, McIntosh, Bullock, and some of South Carolina. Our goal is simple. We want to make your move to coastal Georgia, the 912, as smooth and thoughtful as possible. So here's some common misconceptions. One big misconception we have to do is just simply expectations, especially around here with how things work. For example, a lot of people moving to the area assume that they can turn any home into an Airbnb. We hear it all the time. People want to buy a second home and rent it out short term when they're not here. Well, Savannah is actually highly regulated when it comes to short-term rentals, and it's just not possible in most places. Another example, and we're going to dive deeper into both of these things in future videos, is that people assume that schools work the same as they do in other cities, and they just don't. So if you apply the I'm going to just put my child in a neighborhood school mindset without understanding the system or understanding our school system, it can create a lot of frustration. None of this is bad. It just means you need local context. And the Harris Home Team is here to be your local context. So vacationing versus living here. Okay, that's another thing we should talk about. Savannah is famous for celebrating. We even have an open container law. That means you can carry a plastic cup of alcohol around downtown, and we have a world famous St. Patrick's Day celebration. All in all, it's a very, very social culture. Partying is absolutely a Savannah pastime, but living here means finding your balance with it. There's actually a fantastic quote from the book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil that really captures the vibe. Well, actually, sidebar. If you are moving to Savannah and you have not picked up a copy and read or watched the movie Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, it really kind of shows you what a cool, weird, quirky community we are, and I highly recommend doing that. Pick up a copy or watch the movie, or both.
Can I pay?
Okay, so here's the quote that I love so much. So if you go to Atlanta, the first question people ask you is, what's your business? In Macon, they ask, where do you go to church? In Augusta, they ask, what's your grandmother's maiden name? But in Savannah, the first question people ask you is, what's your drink?
What can I get you to drink?
It's that sense of hospitality and ease that's part of what people love about Savannah. You just want to make sure that it matches the life that you're building, not just the weekend you're visiting. Now let's talk about a practical reality check. One practical thing that surprises a lot of people is about how real estate transactions work in Georgia. Now, this is part of the reason we created the New to 912 guide. We are here to be your fiduciaries and be sure that you understand how a transaction works from the beginning to end. So this is just one idiosyncrasy in Georgia. So in Georgia, we close with attorneys, not escrow companies. So the buyer will typically select the closing attorney, and that attorney represents the lender. If there is no lender, then they represent the buyer. It's different than many other states, and you can probably see why this can be confusing for people moving here. And it's helpful to understand these things early. And that's exactly why we built New to 912. So when I moved to Savannah 22 years ago, I did not know where to start. I didn't understand the neighborhoods, I didn't know the schools, and I could not compare the quality of my life in Los Angeles to what I could expect my life to be here in Savannah. Moving to a new city is exciting, but it can also be scary. And this guide exists to remove some of that fear. It's a welcoming, plain and simple guide to Savannah. Neighborhoods, lifestyle, cost of living, restaurants, lenders, whatever you need. And what actually matters when you're relocating. You can download it at newto912.com. Now you might be asking, who is this channel for? This channel is for anyone considering a move to Savannah or anywhere in the Southeast. If Savannah is on your radar, even just a little, we want to help. We are the Harris Home Team, and our philosophy is simple: your story, your way. We are here to help you create your Savannah story your way. If this video was helpful, download the New to 912 guide at newto912.com. And if you want honest, practical videos about living here, make sure you subscribe. Welcome to the 912. We're really glad you're here.